Welcome back to North End Walk. It's 20 minutes of Preston Chat. It's episode 29. Coming up this week, our 4 topics are the fallout from Burnley, just how great has Porteous been so far, who deserves to go up from the Championship, and what's the worst ever Preston North End kit. We had this one sent to us on Twitter, but already the lads here are saying that deserves nowhere near to be anywhere near the worst kit. Welcome back. We've got Ash and Etienne with us. Harvey's unfortunately not very well this week, so get well soon from all of us. Harvey, right. Ash, there's only one place to start, of course, with the fallout from Burnley. Let's jump straight into it. The North End podcast, which is another great listen if you don't go listen, said the Preston's insiders reveal Osmajic was close to tears when he came to see the ref after the game. He says he has black teammates and pals in the Preston line, so would not have insulted them. Yeah, there's all kinds of rumours. It's very difficult, obviously, to talk about it. And let's make it very clear from the start. If any racism has been said, whether it's by mistake or not, that's inexcusable and should never happen. But what do you understand is the latest from a Preston North End point of view?
So I guess at this point, everything is kind of a bit hearsay, and it's really tough to put an opinion across without sounding like you're taking sides. I think, as you've said there, what's really important is that if it does come out that Osmajic has been racist, then he gets a really heavy punishment. There's been rumours, which I've tweeted about myself and received abuse for, but there's rumours that Hannibal said also something that was unacceptable. But even if he has done that, that doesn't make being racist okay if that's what's occurred. But it's a bit tough at the minute because it's kind of a witch hunt, right? We don't know if it's definitely happened, but everybody's convicted the guy already. So I think we have to let the FA make that decision and then just follow from there because none of us were on the pitch. None of us were in Hannibal's ear, as it was said. So I'm just thankful he didn't bite his ear while he was shouting and stuff. So if we're looking at it from a lighter point of view, there is that, thankfully. But yeah, it's sadly a huge shame.
Yeah, it's sadly because of that incident, isn't it, that people are jumping, I say sadly or not, but jumping to that conclusion, isn't it, that, well, he's a rogue before he's done this, so he's obviously going to have said this. And like we say, we can't make comment about something we didn't hear. But yeah, thanks for that, Ash. I know it's been a very, very difficult week for everyone connected to, everyone dares have an opinion on this because it means that you split lines and so on. Etienne, where do you stand on what's happened? Thanks, Ash.
Yeah, I agree with everything Ash has said, really. It's hard to express an opinion without taking sides. It's hard to express an opinion without, basically saying something that is alleged. I think a lot of people coming out with the stuff that's being said online could find themselves in bother because we don't actually know what's happened. We've just heard what has happened on the pitch. We saw the arguments. We've seen what's coming out from the journalists. But I think it's just best not to say anything until the FA sorts it out, get an investigation going. If Osmajic has said something, then I personally don't want to see him in a shirt again. But right now, we don't know what the outcome is, and I just think it's best if it's put on the back burner.
Yeah. Before we go on to the footballing side, obviously you play Burnley again in 2 weeks' time. It would be better, wouldn't it, even if the hearing hasn't happened, for Osmajic not to play in that particular game, regardless of the outcome.
Yeah, so I think either player may, from certain sections of the fan bases, get grief because nobody knows exactly what was said, and people like to defend their tribe. For me, I think it would be sensible if he didn't play for 2 reasons. The first of all is if it has happened and we let him play against the same player again, that reflects terribly. And if it hasn't, there's a strong chance that there could be some retaliation regardless. And I think for the sakes of both fan bases, really, I think it just makes sense to not even put him in the squad, as much that damages our chances of going through, which you hate to see. It just has to. I mean, racism, it can't be taken too seriously. There's no point where you're being too serious about it. You've got to be as strict as you can around it and be as careful as possible. So for me, he stays at home for that game.
Yeah, well said. Good stuff. Right, let's talk about football now, shall we? Absolutely, let's crack into that. We know that one. Solid performance. Wish we'd played it down the right a lot more in the second half and switched the ball a lot more. Their left wing back wasn't up for defending. It was a well-fought draw. Porteous was man of the match for me. We'll come on to Porteous a bit more in a second. Etienne, but are they right this tweet about playing it down the right a little bit more in the second half? I mean, I've got to say, I thought Preston were brilliant. I sat and watched it myself. I thought you were amazing.
Yeah, I agree. I feel like we were playing as well as we could have in the first half. We kept them pegged back. Lyle Foster missed a load of chances, which we shouldn't really forget about. If he'd been on form that day, it would have been 2-0 to Burnley. But you've got to take the result that comes to you. And at the end of the day, we've kept out one of the best sides in the league. And we've not scored against the best defence this league has ever seen. So at the end of the day, 0-0, great result. I agree, maybe we should have gone down the right a bit more, but I'm happy with the result.
Absolutely. 2 games against Burnley, and you're one of the sides they haven't beaten yet, which is, I think, says a lot, doesn't it? Solid performance. Oh, sorry, I've done that one. Michael says, could have been 3 points on another day. Shame our strikers didn't know where the offside line is. Solid defensively yet again. On to Millwall, which of course is the midweek game. We haven't got time. We're not talking about because it hasn't happened yet. Ash, do you agree with this about the strikers just straying too far off the offside?
If the offside rule didn't exist, then Osmajic would be the highest scorer in football ever. The guy. I don't know if anybody's taught him the offside rule or if maybe it's different in the countries he's played in. He just doesn't seem to get it. Then Reece just can't be asked jogging, right? So he just stands in a spot, and if he's offside, he's offside. If he's not, he's not. He doesn't really seem to care.
See, I'd raise you Dominic Calvert-Lewin at Everton for that. I watched him. The guy was born offside, I think. Right, Ash. So Etienne should have been a penalty.
Burnley's or ours?
Yours, yeah.
On the one on Kesler-Hayden, I've seen a lot of people immediately going, yes, it should have been. But for me, it's one of those where he's already got the shot off, the keeper's closing him down. The defender has been rash, but I don't know. I don't think the foul has actually affected Kesler-Hayden in any way in getting that shot on target. And I think it's a good save by Trafford. So, nah, not for me. I wasn't convinced.
Okay. Let's talk about Porteous with both of you then. Here's some of his stats. I mean, I've got to be honest. When he came from Watford for you, I mean, he was. I think I didn't even describe him at this time as an average Championship defender. But so many of the tweets I could have put on here saying he was a man of the match. What a player. Likes to put his foot in. He's everything that Preston needed. Ash, just how good has he been?
Yeah, I was also underwhelmed with the signing, but he played superbly. I think he's massively helped, or we're massively helped by Gibson as well. But yeah, just superb the whole game. I don't think he really put a foot wrong, and he gets forward at a bit of pace. I think I tweeted at the time that I was shocked at seeing a centre back that actually had a bit of pace because we've been starved of that for so long. And yeah, I tell you one thing, he doesn't lack passion either, and that's always a bonus for me.
Etienne?
Yeah, well, I think I put it in the group chat. I was a big fan of Porteous signing, and I'm glad that's been paid off because I've always rated him. I don't know why Watford fans hated him, and I don't know why they let him go. And he's come to us. I'm not complaining. Immediately steadied the back line. Him and Gibson are unreal at the moment. I mean, he intercepted that ball for Frotkiar at Norwich as well, and we wouldn't have won that game without that. So, first 2 games, very, very impressed. I'd like to see him here at summer at the moment.
Me too.
Yes, so 4 points in the bag since we last met. I think it's fair to say now that gap between you and the bottom 3 is now one where we don't need to talk about it again. I think 12 points at this point in the season with 12 to play or something like that is not insurmountable, is it? But the way you're playing, Ash, the only way we're going to look at Preston now is heading north, isn't it?
Yeah, so I'd just like to remind everyone at this point that I said from the beginning there was no chance of us going down.
You did, yeah.
I just didn't ever see that happening. I still think mid-table's on. I think the game tomorrow is really important because I think that'll show us where we're at. we're playing against a team that are on. I think it's the same points, if I'm not mistaken. It's definitely the same form over the past 5 games, with 3 wins and a loss and a draw. And I think if we can beat them, and there's no reason to not at least try and push on. And what a difference a defence makes, right? Having some wing backs has been revolutionary, and then sorting out the centre of defence has been great too. So I'd like to see us push for it. I think, being realistic, we're not expecting to finish top 6. Let's be honest.
But let's have a bit of fun with it, shall we? I mean, if you beat Millwall 8-0, you will go 11th above Middlesbrough, 3 points off West Brom in 6. That's got to have you salivating a bit, Etienne. You're not going to win 8-0, but you get my point.
Look, the way I'm looking at it is, come Saturday at 5 p.m, we could be ahead of Coventry, who are 7th, I believe, or 8th. That would be an unreal position to be in, considering the start of the season. I think the last 2 results, even though it was a draw against Burnley and it was a ground-out win against Norwich, they were the results that we needed. We could take this form going into Millwall now, overturn them 2 or 3-0 on a Tuesday night where we are practically unbeatable, touch wood, then it's the form that we need to go into Coventry and start thinking, look, we're not looking at playoffs realistically, but how close can we get? And then how much can we set up in the summer to go again?
Okay. My final question was about Coventry. This is football's weirdest and longest running hoodoo of one team's dominance over another, because you played each other for so long. I've asked you this before, and of course there's no answer to it, but why do you have Coventry City's numbers? So it's the longest running jinx or bogey side of one team over another that there is in the EFL. Ash, can you explain it?
Absolutely not. I have no explanation at all. I just hope we continue it, because we need to beat them, because they're pushing as well, and they look really good lately. And my missus fancies Frank Lampard, so I could really do with that one in the bag this time. So yeah, it would be nice, but it is curious, because we never seem to look poor against them. We could be having an absolutely dreadful run and they could be flying, and then all of a sudden we 3-0 them, and it's just like a complete change of fortune.
Yeah. But even when
I guess we'll see.
You went through that Ryan Lowe dip last season. I remember, previewing it, and you still managed to beat them even when you were playing badly. It's just bizarre.
Yeah, it's weird. I don't know if that's Robins affected. I don't know the exact timescale of how long the jinx has gone on for, but maybe Robins just had nerves when it came to us. You hear about managers panicking in certain games. Maybe he was just scared of Deepdale and scared of us going to their ground. So who knows?
Well, they've never won at Deepdale in the league. They've won in the cup there a couple of times, but never won the league, and they haven't beaten you, I think, for nearly 50 years, something like that. It's mad.
That's longer than Robinson, right? So it's a really weird one. Fingers crossed it continues though.
Absolutely. Right. Before we let you go this week, then, excuse me, recovering myself from illness. Harvey, I know how you feel. This week we are predicting the league in terms of ups and downs. We're starting, of course, at the top. I know you will care less about this next question, but it looks as if it certainly looks as if 2 of the top 4 will be heading up from here. Now, Leeds, I think, have just scored against Sunderland as we've written this. So just won that in the final minutes. So this table is now incorrect. But Etienne, who deserves to go up? And that's the key here. Not who you think will, but of the teams that you've played and the teams that you've watched play football, who deserves it?
Ooh, I'd say Leeds. Leeds definitely. And then it's a hard one to toss up. I'm not convinced by the other 3, which is rich to say because they're top 4 and we're 14th. But we've played Sunderland twice at home. We've still got to go play them away, but we put up 2 really good performances against them. And the same with Leeds. We had Leeds number until the 93rd minute. And Sheffield United, we don't know because we played them on the low. So I think the only one that truly deserves to go up for me is Leeds. But sorry, I've lost my train of thought there. And Burnley as well. Like, they're so good defensively, but they just lack so much up top. Why should a team deserve to go up if they can't do the basics up top well? So I think for me, I can only truly say Leeds deserve to go up.
Okay. Ash?
First of all, you can tell Etienne's a real Preston fan because even the thought of the top two has given him the jitters. But as much as it pains me to say it, it's probably going to be the top two at the moment, isn't it? It's going to be Sheffield United and Leeds. I really dislike Leeds and prefer Sheffield Wednesday, but they just look better than everyone. And Burnley's defensive record isn't to be sniffed at, but you don't get promoted off 0-0 draws, right? So they need to. The thing for me is, I think in a playoff situation as well, I think they might struggle because they don't seem to have a game plan to go and attack and win a game. So that the hope is that it'll be Leeds and Sheffield United first and second, preferably Sheffield United first, so Leeds fans can't gloat about winning the league, and then probably Sunderland through the playoffs would be great.
Right, cheers for that. Let us know. Let us know your thoughts on it. Finally, this week we're looking at worst ever Preston kits. We've had a few sent to us. Let's have a look at some. Oops, that's the wrong button. I wanted that one. Yeah, this one got sent. Ash, did you put this one in? I can't remember if you did or not.
Yeah, I absolutely
Talk us
hate
to
this
this one.
shirt. So there's two reasons for that for me. Well, actually, three reasons why I hate this shirt. Four. I'm counting them as I go. As I see it, I'm starting to hate it more and more. So I'll list them off. So my first issue is the random lines, right, which Adidas seem to have taken up this season. For some unknown reason, they've copied Puma shirts from 2011 or whenever it was. Second is the fact it's Puma. I'm not a fan of Puma whatsoever. My third issue is that collar, because why is it a collar within a collar? That makes no sense. And my final one is I had this shirt and that Tennant's sponsor, which I don't mind Tennant's as a sponsor, but was a sticker and it was stuck over an Enterprise logo that was already printed on the shirt. So when you had the shirt inside out, you could see the Enterprise logo and it just screamed, you've been ripped off on this T-shirt. So yeah, not a fan, as you could tell.
Okay. Let's have a look at some more, shall we? Now, this divide opinion. You're not having this as a bad shirt, but I think everyone outside of Preston would put this as one of the worst footballing shirts ever, wouldn't they?
Yeah, it's like that England goalkeeper one. I was just thinking then, like everyone loves that, so why can't you love this? Because it's in the same. It's almost in the same creative manner. I love it just because it's so out there and it's something we don't get now because we're so used to our boring styles of kits. So,
what about this one? I mean, this is purple. I mean, no team should ever play in purple. That's a pretty bad one. Yeah, this one.
Yeah,
the goalkeeper one. The other goalkeeper one, I think it was the same season. Was the sponsors like a luminous green? The whole shirt was that color, and it was 10 times the shirt of that one. So I can understand that one. This almost gets a pass because it's Hemming's racing colours, right? And now he's passed. I feel like it's quite a nice tribute to him in a sense. But at the time, this stuff, I could not abide by this shirt. I think it's absolutely disgusting just to look at.
And yeah, this must have been the opposite away shirt to your other one, was it?
I think that might have been the same season.
Right,
do you remember this one, Etienne, or was this before you?
Yeah, I think that one might have been the season after. This one, sorry, must have been the season after because this was League One. I remember this quite well, but yeah, I don't know. It's got a small charm to it. I wouldn't put it right down there, but it's also not. It's just not a nice shirt, is it?
Okay. And you put this one in, Ash.
Yeah, I hate this shirt. I hate this
really?
shirt. It's the sash. It's the sash. There's what is it? There's so much going on and so little going on at the same time. It's just a weird shirt. I mean, it's not the worst ever, is it? But it's just odd. And another one that you've not put on, but is worth a look, is the 21-22 home shirt, the Nike one. I detest that shirt as well. I was looking through shirts. Yeah, I just give us block sleeves, not the pattern. It looks like someone's put the fingerprints on it or something.
I really like that one. I don't know whether it's just me, but I really like that shirt. Just seeing it in person and having it on myself, I thought it was a very smart shirt. I think I gave it an 8 out of 10. Like, really? I like that one.
It's great how they split opinions so much, isn't it? That's amazing, one of the beautiful things. They can completely I can love it, you can hate it, and then
Yeah.
There's probably someone in the middle as well, but yeah, I think I could slag kits off all day.
Right. Thank you very much for watching. Yeah, let us know in the comments whether we missed any particular shirt that was really rankled with you. Good luck against Millwall. Good luck against Coventry. We'll be back here in 7 days' time to hopefully review 6 points as Preston march up the league. We've manifested with Bristol City fans, Preston versus Bristol City in the playoff final come May the 25th or whatever it is. The loser has to stay in the Championship for life, though. That's the deal. We're gonna get it. Right. Cheers, fellas.